for animated feature film for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, coming on in this order, I hope. Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, Rodney Rothman, Phil Lord, and Christopher Miller.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with 43 and then go to 228 in the back.
It's like an auction.
Give us a minute.
Auction, exactly.
You number 43. 130.
Matt Fagerholm, RogerEbert.com. Extraordinary film. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's dedication at the end got a standing ovation in Chicago. Can you tell me about how you went about wanting to reflect the essence of their artistry and their message to the world?
We wanted to talk about it on stage.
I mean, that was the "and finally" that got played off. I don't know, but maybe you don't see that up here, but maybe you do.
Tell me what you're gonna say. Tell me what you were going to say.
I mean, literally, we were just going to thank Stan Lee and Steve Ditko for really inspiring this whole thing, and for, being a force of believing that all of us, human beings, have the potential and the capacity to be heroes. I mean, that was really sort of, from day one, Phil and Chris had put together a treatment, and there was sort of a statement that was essentially saying it was a challenge to make a movie that challenged the audience to believe in themselves and to believe in their neighbor and really be positive and make a difference in the world and possibly be a mentor or be heroic. That was really it. That's from Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. So that's what we were trying to say.
We're going to 228 and then 281.
Hi, Carlos Aguilar from Remezcla. This question's for Phil or anyone else that wants to jump in.
Oh, hi.
Hi. If there's a sequel to the movie, would you consider exploring Miles Morales' Latino side further? Maybe an adventure in Puerto Rico or something like that?
Well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're really proud of this movie, and there's a lot of great ideas for another one. But obviously, we're really proud that Miles has Puerto Rican heritage. I'm a Cuban American, and they say that Cuba y Puerto Rico son de un pájaro las dos alas, so we're linked. So so obviously that's something that's a really interesting dimension of the character that's been left to explore further.
Going to 281 and then 176.
Hello guys, congratulations. And I just want to know how much of the Filipino animators contributed to this movie.
Tons. We had, I know back at ImageWorks we had, I'm going to shout out John Butu. Remember John? Yeah. And there were a bunch of people up in Vancouver. It was a substantial contribution. We had talented people from all over the world working together on this movie that kind of echoed what you see in the movie is people coming from whole different universes to get together and realize their commonalities. So we were very proud of what our Filipino animators and artists, who were among a crew of 800 artists, gave to the film.
Shout out to John Bushu. Yeah.
John Butu, woo!
We'll go to 176 and then 61.
Louis Del Carmen.
Yeah.
That's Louis, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Eli
Okay.
Glasner from CBC News. Peter, as the first black director to win the Animated Feature Award, talk to me about the responsibility of bringing an Afro-Latino character such as Miles to life.
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility. This is something that's going to be seen and taken to heart by millions of people, but everybody has to know that our whole team, I mean, the guys standing up on this stage, as well as those other hundreds of artists that I was talking about earlier, all of them deeply felt the importance of that idea and that mission. So Miles had a lot of backup. He had a lot of people who really loved him as a character, believed in his story, and knew how important it was going to be to black kids, Latino kids, kids who just want to be their best selves no matter who they are. So everybody gave it 110%, and we're very gratified that people are receiving his story in the spirit in which we put it at.
We'll go to 61 and then number 1.
Congratulations on your win. I was going to ask, I'm sorry, hold on, let me double check my notes here. What responsibility did you guys have to accurately portray one of the first representations of an Afro-Latino superhero to audiences that are hungry for diverse representation?
Go for it. Yeah. Take it.
I mean, it's obviously a huge responsibility. We were lucky because Brian Bendis and Sara Pichelli created a roadmap for us with the comic version of Miles that they invented. And they made so many important choices. They made Miles part of a really loving, tight family. And they made choices that are somewhat unconventional, and they did a lot of the heavy lifting for us. So once we made the decision, like, we want this movie to be about Miles and his family, the rest kind of fell into place.
We'll go to one, and then I do have to wrap it up with 250 in the back.
Right in the back. Hi, my name is Fabian Winter for Latin America. I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, Mahershala Ali has one of the voices for the character Uncle Aaron. So this would be a second Oscar for him, right?
Yes. Yeah. If we have any advice for filmmakers out there, put Mahershala Ali in your movie. It seems to work out okay.
So my question is, how animated was his acting there? What was his job? Tell us
Sure.
about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, broadly, we tried to cast all kinds of actors. We had a lot of actors who'd never done voice acting before and who favored a naturalistic style of performance. And our animators really met them and started to craft animated performances that were based on fairly underplayed, fairly subtle vocal performances, for which Mahershala Ali is a great example. One last story about him is that well, can I even say it? It is a spoiler. It's okay. Spoiler alert.
Well, just at least tell us about the character. What was it about? That people might not know.
Yeah. So he had to had a death scene in the movie, and we actually asked him to do it. We had him do it twice on 2 different occasions. We asked him on a 3rd occasion, and he essentially said no, or he said. He basically, in a very calm, well-articulated way, said that that for him to do that kind of scene takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot out of him. And he essentially said to us, "Next time, if you still need me to do this again, I'll do it. But maybe look at your stuff, because it takes a lot out of me, when I do that." And we went and we looked at the scene, and we did not ask him to do it again.
It's a long way of saying he's super committed.
He's very committed. He's a method actor. He did a beautiful, beautiful performance, as did the rest of our cast, and they're a big part of why we're standing on stage right now.
And we're going to wrap it up with 250 in the back.
Lepakiso Sandoval, New York Amsterdam News. Congratulations to you all. Peter, my heart is pounding in my chest for you. This question is for all of you. What do you love about being storytellers?
I mean, I'll just do a super quick one. I mean, to be a storyteller, it's really just about connecting with your audience, whether it's your little kid that you're putting to sleep, or apparently millions of people who go see your movie. So I think it's just it's validation of just being a human and sharing the experience of being a human. So it's kind of an amazing career.
To feel like you've affected someone else's life positively, one way or another, is a really magical thing that we don't take lightly.
Yeah. Bob said it. People have reached out to us about this movie. None of us have ever been through anything like the experience of after our movie came out, and people who reach out to us and what they say, what they feel, and we feel very close to those people, and that's very addictive, and that's why we do. But that's why we do this, because we want to feel closer to people, and we want people to feel closer to each other.
I can't really top these guys. It's if you can make a connection, that's everything.
It's 2 things for me. The collaboration with other people in this medium, which is a team sport. And it's miraculous to me that hundreds of people will collaborate just to get on an airplane, let alone to try to make a work of art together. That, to me, is so beautiful. And the idea of all those people putting a message in a bottle and exercising a part of their essential humanity, which is that we all know how to make art somehow, and it's amazing. And sending that out into the ocean is, that to me, that's the whole bag.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.